On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we have the latest new Q post. Plus, you guys need to get out and vote tomorrow. On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we examine Q's latest posts, which talk about President Trump signaling to the audience that Q is very real. Plus, don't forget, today is the day to get out and vote. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. First of all, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you guys haven't already, please come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Helps the channel out more than you guys will ever know. When you guys do that, it just makes a huge difference, so thank you. So on tonight's episode, here's where we're going to pick up. Here's where we left off. If you guys want to get caught up on where we were at and what we've been covering, all the latest Q posts, come back here to the landing page, watch these last few videos. And if you're scratching your head going, what's QAnon? What's this guy talking about? Please come here and watch this video right here and share this video with your friends and family, and even if they're not your friends, on social media. Get the word out there. That definitely helps out the channel more than you guys will ever know. So like I said, this is where we're going to pick up, and this is just kind of like a meme that Q's giving us here, where it's saying now playing, and it's got these three movie posters. One is, of course, FISA-gate, which has got all the key players there: President Obama, Secretary of State Clinton, FBI Director Comey, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Then there's the next one here that says panic in D.C., which is a phrase that Q's been using quite often in reference to the way that the actual D.C. swamp creatures have been panicking ever since Q has come on the scene and started exposing what they thought would never get out there. And it says up here, if you guys can read it, it says they thought she would never lose. And then the next one here says it's a play on that Guardians of the Galaxy, and it says Guardians of the Pedophiles. So yeah, there you go. That's the post from Q right there. And to me, guys, I want to remind everyone before we keep going, something really important. All right, so for all of you guys out there who have not gotten involved yet, now's your time to go out and vote. You can make a difference, and what you can do is basically go down to your polling station and vote. If it's been a while, just get out there. If you want to get information on the stuff like amendments and propositions, you can go online, and you should have been mailed a voter's guide which explains it all. If you guys have that, pull it out, flip through it, read about the amendments, get an explanation, and decide what you want. Do you want higher taxes? Do you want to have certain amendments passed that makes things change the way your state is run, or in the way the law is enforced in your state? You know, go research it and make an educated vote. But tomorrow is the day. If you guys haven't done your early voting yet, then tomorrow is the final day, or today, I guess, depending on where you are, November 6th. You are going to want to go to the polls and make a difference. Make your vote count. And most importantly, like this guy right here says, make America great again. All right, so that was my voting PSA for you guys to watch. Now we'll keep going with the Q. So the next one here is this old post from Q that Q wanted to point us to from August 31st, where it talks about the way the mainstream media portrayed President Trump's battle against Hillary Clinton for the 2016 presidential election. Now, you can see here, this graphic is just, it says everything you need to know, that they were showing how President Trump had 0 endorsements by daily newspapers, and apparently Hillary Clinton had, at least, this is like 3 dozen or more. So you can see it's crazy, right? And Q said in that post, do you believe actual polls were conducted? Pre-election polls, HRC favored 90 to 98%. Reconcile against results. Why is there emphasis put on polls? Define human nature, the general psychological characteristics, feelings, and behavior traits of humankind regarded as shared by all humans. Point 1, fake news logic. If people believe the odds are hopeless, their candidate will win. Do they still make the effort to vote? Point two, if people believe the odds are overwhelming, their candidate will win. Do they still make the effort to vote? Does one cancel two? Point three, fake news logic. If people believe the majority of people feel a certain way about something, do they go with the majority to feel accepted? If the majority of people believe something does that imply it must be right? Does this give rise to "we are the majority" mindset? Define echo chamber, a metaphorical description of a situation in which beliefs are amplified or reinforced by communication and repetition inside a closed system. Prior to new platforms, networks connecting people, did the old guard have full control? Did the old guard learn from the mistakes in 2016 election and now tasking all new platforms, networks to censor? When you are awake, you can see clearly. Q. And this is so relevant to everything that we're doing here today. I mean, consider what Q is saying here in the entirety of this. It's talking about how this is their way of, manipulating human nature to their ends. And when I say them, I mean the mainstream media. These are their tactics of psychological warfare. It's a demoralization tactic. Like you say, it's hopeless. Your candidate's not going to win. Then they might not go out to vote. And if you report on the other end that their candidate is guaranteed to win no matter what, then basically what you're doing is you're pushing that person to stay home as well, because you're saying, oh, well, it's a shoo-in. They don't even need to show up, right? So this is the way that Q wants us to remember how we're being sold what to believe by the media. And this is an important note to make when you read these two tweets from President Trump, where President Trump says, "So funny to see the CNN fake suppression polls and false rhetoric. Watch for real results Tuesday. We are lucky CNN's ratings are so low. Don't fall for the suppression game. Go out and vote. Remember, we now have perhaps the greatest economy jobs in the history of our country." So this is something that we've went over a million times here, but it's the tactic they use. And that's what Q is pointing us back to with this post right here, is that's the tactic they use. It's like a demoralization, psychological warfare scheme. Now, the next one here is another President Trump tweet, where it says, "Law enforcement has been strongly notified to watch closely for any illegal voting which may take place in Tuesday's election or early voting. Anyone caught will be subject to the maximum criminal penalties allowed by law. Thank you." And that's so funny that tweet came out today, and this is the tweet we got from Q yesterday, right? Q says, "Panic in DC. If you witness members of Antifa or any other people or organizations stationed at key voter locations making threats or attempting to use scare tactics, voter intimidation, please contact local authorities immediately and report the incidents. Internal communications suggest preparations are being made and organized to conduct a 29-plus location push." Battleground locations. See something, say something. So, and it goes on, but that was the message we were getting from Q yesterday. That's the message that I got into this video, basically. So I mean, that's what I wanted to bring your attention to it. But then Q says, "Polls are rigged and do not capture an accurate snapshot. Silent majority. Will you answer the call? Vote, 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 Q." And yeah, you guys get out there and vote, just like my little PSA was there for you earlier. Just get out and vote, all right? Now, here's the next one from Brad Parscale. I thought this was incredible, guys. So look at this. They set up this, it's like a open conference call with President Trump. I guess anybody could have called in. So, you get random people on the phone, you have a conversation with the president and tell him what's going on. And yeah, I mean, it seems like a really cool thing, right? Well, look at this. You called that 1-800 number, and then you got this passcode. And, it doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary until you go back here and it says, what number does the passcode add up to? 4 Anon's Q. And of course, if you take the number and add it up, 1 + 1 + 6 + 2 + 3 + 4 equals, you guessed it, 17. And why is 17 an important number? Because Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. So, I mean, there you go, guys. This is just one more proof of Q. one more for the road. We're going to keep getting them. Now, this is so cool. Q is giving us like this insider conversation that was had after President Trump was up on stage. Now, we'll look at the videos and stuff where President Trump basically points to there's this one guy who's holding the Q sign. He points to him 3 times. Then there's another part where he basically makes an air Q. He like does a very clear circle and then puts a little dash down where the Q mark would be in the circle to make it a Q. And but this is like imagine this is President Trump like talking, right? And it gives me goosebumps. Did they get the shot? I pointed directly at it 3 times. I turned and double pointed just to be clear. Did they pick up the boom, boom, boom? Something is happening. Yes, Mr. President, Anons are actively tracking message received. Good. That's good. Q. So imagine that's Q responding to President Trump saying, yes, Mr. President, Anons are actively tracking because President Trump's trying to give us these messages. The booms. He said that when he was making a reference to, I can't remember what it was. It was definitely in the Ohio speech where he was basically saying, boom, boom, boom. We'll look at that clip right now.
Very simple. Putting America first. America first. And every day since, the failed old ruling class have been trying to claw their way back into power. Our political opponents have been on a relentless campaign of obstruction, resisting, demolishing, defaming, and trying to destroy. They're not doing too well. They're not doing too well, and we're not going to let them do too well. These are corrupt people. Tuesday is your chance to send a message to the Democrat mob and to everyone who has made it their mission to denigrate our movement and to divide our great nation. Not going to happen. Tomorrow, with your votes, you can stop the radical resistance in its tracks. I look forward to seeing what happens because something is going on. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Something is going on, and they are not happy back there. The media is not happy. They are not happy. They never report this. They don't report these crowds. They don't report this stuff. They never say, they'll say Donald Trump. President Trump was in Ohio today. He made a speech in front of a few thousand people. You know.
Okay, so sorry I couldn't find the booms, but you guys saw where he said something's going on, something's happening. There was a part in that speech before where he'd said that, but regardless, that is the message that we're getting there. I mean, he keeps doing the same hand gesture and talking about how the fake news media won't cover the truth, and we all know what the truth is, that President Trump and Q work together and that military intelligence is involved and that they are exposing this incredible set of facts that aren't being reported on. And that's why it takes people like us to come here to disseminate the information and to get it out to the American public who need to hear it. So, yeah, I hope that helps that. Now, the next one here is pretty interesting, too. This is President Trump pointing at this guy who's got the Q, right? And this is this right here. So you see this guy's holding a Q right here. And basically, if you guys just watch, you could see President Trump basically point at the Q and give it like a double point. Yeah, and it was very noticeable too. I was watching it on One America News live when the conference happened, and it was very noticeable when that person pulled that Q out. You could basically see exactly it and President Trump looking directly at it. So it's not like the president doesn't know about Q. So I mean, there's so much to point us in the direction to say that Q is very real. And the Anon who posted this video says the Trump double point. Watch for QVIP, and Q says and another prior to, so he pointed to it 3 times. It says memes locked on target, fire when ready, high priority targets today, tomorrow, where we go one, we go all Q. And I can tell you guys right now, I am doing that as well. I've been over on my Twitter. If you guys haven't noticed, I've basically been tweeting you guys out Don't usually do a lot of like retweeting except occasionally here and there, but I'm just trying to retweet all of the memes and stuff out there that I can get. So if you guys want to tweet memes and tag me in them, I will definitely do my best to tweet all of that out. So with that being said, what Q's basically telling us to do is to start memeing. So let's do it. Where we go on, we go all. Now the next one here is a Twitter post from this person, Billy, who puts this up here where President Trump, I don't know, you can barely make this out, but you can see he does this circle with his finger and then puts a little like strike through it like a Q, right? And I just thought that was incredible. So, sorry about that. Yeah, so see, there it is. There it is. See? He points, does a circle, does the Q. Points, does a circle, does the Q. I hate to be so repetitive, but you could just see like he points, circle, Q. I know that video's got terrible resolution, but it's probably one of the few. And you know, when I was watching that rally, I saw that. It was at the end of the speech, and I saw it, and I thought that looked just like President Trump drawing a Q in the air, right? Well, lo and behold, of course, Q says, "Do you air Q?" Q. And this is going to be a new trending thing. Maybe we should do hashtag air Q and have us all do ourselves doing the air Q. Here, I'll do my best attempt at it right now. So yeah, I hope you guys like that. Now, so the AirQ thing, yeah, that's incredible. And an Anon says, "Yep, AirQ delivery keck." And Q responds, "Trolling the fake news media is fun." Of course it is. Another Anon says, "Y'all are just begging for disclosure at this point. Huge, obvious AirQ. Are you kidding me? Let's do this, Q." And then Q says, "POTUS really made that one obvious, didn't he?" It says it was the end that sealed it. Q. So I don't know. It's got really an end in parentheses. So I don't know if that's a message that we could be very close to full disclosure. I don't know. That would be really incredible. I'd love to hear it or see it. Now, the next one here says vote, 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 vote. Will you answer the call? Your country needs you. Q. And yes, like I said before, get out and vote. Like I said, get out and vote. I don't want to say that too matter of factly or too assertively, but that is the fact that you have to do it. You have to get out and vote. We have to fight this Democrat supposed blue wave. So the next one here is a tweet from somebody named Disclosure BP. And this is pretty funny. It says, "Now it's becoming undeniable that @POTUS supports QAnon. I'm reposting my video poking fun at the ridiculous clown narrative that the president needs to be rescued from the harmful Q movement. Laugh and enjoy the show. It's going to get better." And you guys can see here, this, it's like, I think this is, what is it, Street Fighter, Double Dragon, something, one of those old arcade games from the 90s, which has basically President Trump here being saved from Q. And it's a satire, it's a joke. So good job, Disclosure Backpack. That's hilarious. Yeah, so it says the left has no chance, Q. Well, there you go. The left has no chance. All right. So the next one here is an Anon saying, "Guys, there's rumors exploding all over Twitter that Skippy Podesta committed suicide, digging for real sauce on this." So that's a rumor, I guess, that's been going through the boards. And Q tells us that it's fake news, but both brothers have a pending sealed indictment. Q. So did you see this? Q is confirming that both John and Tony Podesta have sealed indictments waiting for them. Just sit on that for a minute. Wow. Okay. And now finally, the last one here is a tweet from Praying Medic. We all know him. He does great work. Big shout out to Praying Medic and getting called out by Q here. But this is a story from Newsweek where it talks about how, you know, Gab was deep or no platformed and how they called on President Trump to fight big tech collusion, which has been happening so rampantly. And what Praying Medic says here in this tweet is more fuel for the fire. It's Gab's fault or Trump's for inciting these racist kooks. And that's exactly it, because they talk about the psychotic gunman who committed a crime, and how, he was a verified member on Gab, so Gab got no platform, and Gab was like a free speech social media platform that existed and now doesn't, basically. And they're trying to turn it around and say it's Gab's fault and it's President Trump's fault because somebody went out and said a bunch of stuff and went and committed a crime. So that to me is what's ridiculous. That's where we're coming to in our society. And Q has something to say, saying memes now front and center, attack on Q movement, fear, coincidence, Q. So are they going to come after Q? Yes, of course. Why are they going to come after Q? For the simple reason that it's becoming too apparent that Q is real. And if Q is real, it completely shatters a lot of the narratives that have been being drawn by the mainstream media for so long. That Q's fake, that it's a LARP, that it's just a bunch of trolls, that there's no there, and there's no substance and it's all conspiracy. Well, if the president of the United States is using a military operation to deliver information to the public that the media won't, then that must mean that information is very real and very serious. Okay, so that's what this all comes down to, and I hope that that helps you guys figure out what's going on, so up to date with, or getting you up to date on the latest Q posts. So you're gonna have to stick around. There's gonna be much more. I want to say thank you to everybody who just watched Just Informed Talk. If you guys haven't, come here, click the big red subscribe button. It helps the channel out. Watch these videos, share the links, leave your thoughts, theories, and insights down in the comments, because I want to hear what you have to say. And even if you can't comment, scroll down and look through the comments. Another way you can help the channel, come over here to Twitter. And like I said, send me your memes. You can find me on Twitter at Justin_formed. Again, that's at Justin_formed on Twitter. And yeah, when you come here, just tweet at me. Tweet at Justin_formed and send me your memes, and I'll share them, and we'll keep building it up over here on Twitter. So that's definitely a cool way to help out the channel. Another great way to help out the channel is to come over here to Patreon. That's patreon.com. You guys, when you support the channel, this is a monthly donation. You come here, you just search Just Informed Talk on patreon.com. Click this button to become a patron. It's a monthly donation. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel, keep us growing, keep the content getting better and better. Like I said, I've got a bunch of new equipment, new editing software, and I'm working every day to make this channel better and better for you guys. And with the demonetization of YouTube, you supporting me on Patreon is really what makes the biggest difference, and I can't tell you how thankful I am for every one of you. And if you don't want to do the monthly thing, I totally understand. That's why I made this GoFundMe page. It's gofundme.com/just-informed. Come here, click this button to donate now, and links will be in the description. Thank you again for everyone who has donated. Now, before we go, we're going to talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. So, on this segment of God's grace is greater, we're going to talk about a very specific verse. Now, this is out of Psalms in chapter 119, and this is verses 105 through 112. So you guys can listen to this. It says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. I have solemnly sworn to keep your righteous judgments. I am severely afflicted. Lord, give me life through your word. Lord, please accept my willing offerings of praise and teach me your judgments. My life is constantly in danger, yet I do not forget your instruction. The wicked have set a trap for me, but I have not wandered. I have your decrees as a heritage forever. Indeed, they are the joy of my heart. I am resolved to obey your statutes to the very end." Wow, to me, that's a beautiful piece of scripture, and it tells us to have that faith to the end, to honor God, to let God be a lamp for our feet and a light on our path. And if we follow God and we follow his precepts and his statutes, then we will have a blessed life, and we will be given all of these great blessings that we could not get otherwise. So remember, guys, in everything that you do out there in the world, to honor God and to keep him first, because when we come to Christ, and we come to Christ with an open heart and say, "Please, Lord, make me your most humble servant," God does work in incredible ways. So come into your life and make your life better, make you more blessed, and make you into an incredibly fortunate, loved, wonderfully blessed child of God. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you guys for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. Hit that subscribe button. That helps channel out more than you guys will ever know. I want to say thank you for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.